Hello, everybody! Welcome back to Nukeshot Media and the return of the Nukeshot Endurance Series for the North America Tour this time around. This is the preview event held at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil. I am joined today by a co-commentator. Goes by the name of Deadline. Deadline, say hello.
Hello, everyone, and everything out there. As he just said, it's me, Mr. Deadline 24, doing some cheeky co-commentary for something a little bit different for my side, since I'm usually commentating on Tuesdays. But hey, I'm here on a Sunday now instead.
Indeed, exciting times. Let us know in the chat if all the audio and stuff is a-okay. Bringing back multi-class for this particular season, we're starting it off with Group 3 and Group 4 cars, the Group 4 cars in particular being front-wheel drive, and the Group 3 cars being sort of region-appropriate, I think is the term to use for this. Given it's the North American Tour, we've got some Fords, we've got a Dodge Viper here with Myth, we've also got some Japanese and Korean luxury brands taking part as well, like Lexus and Genesis. This being the preview today, just sort of running down systems ahead of the main season. Interlagos, of course, in Brazil, very technical circuit, has some high-speed sections as well. Deadline, what do you make of the track that we're racing on here today?
It's Interlagos, a great track everyone loves to drive around. Hey, there's nothing wrong with this track at all. I personally find it to be a very nice little pre-season track to have a nice cheeky drive around, especially with the cars out on track today. When we have the GR3 and the GR4 cars out on track, and honestly, some good drivers out there as well, showcasing how beautiful this track is to drive around in these certain types of cars. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to see the race in action out there tonight, honestly.
Absolutely. Now, for those of you that were tuned in for the Intercontinental Tour, however many decades ago that was by this point, you may recall that tyre wear was relatively high. That has stayed the same. We actually did a race at this circuit for the Intercontinental Tour as well, so these drivers might have a bit of backup data to reference in the past, although that would have been with slightly different cars. And of course the multi-class element as well. Those entering the front-wheel drive Group 4 class, really stepping into the unknown in this season ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm trying to sort out my stream title because it kind of bugged out and it said it was the completely wrong league, so that was a good moment.
No worries.
But I just moving on. See, there's a lot of twin cars out there, isn't there? To be fair, I'm expecting to be a very. Give me 2 seconds. There you go. To see some of the interesting cars out there, like your Dodges, your Ford GT cars, which is a very interesting car to see out track. Not many people drive that car around, and also not to give some love to the GR4 cars as well. If I'm correct, front-wheel drive, isn't it?
Yes,
international.
that is correct.
Yes, international as well. So that's very interesting to see some of the our older, not very American brands out on track, driving around Interlagos, like we see with my good friend Dan in the normal Megane GR4, giving it a nice little taste around Interlagos. And as I said, it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers cope around Interlagos and how they cope around multi-class, because I know some of these guys probably I believe they've done similar leagues like the Japanese touring cars, the GR2 and GR3. I do apologize, I'm a bit rusty when it comes to the SRF events.
No worries at all. Plenty of familiar names, of course, to the channel. Dan is making their NES debut here today, I believe, but viewers of the channel will definitely know Rounded Potato, otherwise known as Taters. Driving with an ART Langster tribute scheme today. I believe he's unfortunately a driver that passed away not too long ago, so our thoughts are with the ART team with that. And yeah, decent mix of cars. Not too many today because it is, of course, just the preview. Several also competing at the Suzuka race that's being held by the ERF.
True. With the Suzuka race, honestly, I'm really sad I couldn't do that. To be honest, it looked super fun, especially with the car choices as well. But hey, we need to move on. You know, we're not here to listen to me crying about something I couldn't really do anyways. But it is what it is. But anyways, there are still, obviously, as you said, with Mr. Round Potato, also known as Tatus, for those who might be a tad confused.
Yep.
He's out on track in the good old Genesis right now, in fact, showcasing a beautiful livery there that I have don't really know what's on the side. It's driving a little bit too fast. I believe it's I know.
Yeah, it's the ART Langster tribute decals, of course.
That's actually cool. Not like that. Not how he's driving is probably not beautiful, but that's a really nice touching livery.
Absolutely. Nice tribute from him there. Just going through some other notes as well. We've got Myth here, once again.
Yeah.
We've got Joe, who, interestingly, is in the slower Group 4 category for this particular season. We'll see how he gets on with that different machinery. Mauro has just joined as well. I'm not too sure what he's driving. I think it might be a Honda NSX, if I'm not mistaken.
It sounds like a Honda NSX.
Oh, it says NSX on the steering wheel.
Oh,
that's
well,
a bit
there
of a
you go
giveaway.
Ah,
There we go.
I mean, no, because we should know already, because we've done enough research to know what got people driving. Yeah, of course. And we immediately knew what car he was driving. So.
Okay. Houdini, of course, has come out of his cave once again for the Nuke Shot Endurance series. Nice seeing him back. And fan favourite Dominic Kubinski is here.
Also driving the Ford GT as well with Mr. Houdini, but I believe they're in different teams, if I'm correct. So.
Yes, and I believe
Yes.
Dominic is here on relatively short notice as like an invitational entry kind of thing. But who knows? We might see him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. It's always good to see more drivers coming into the league that are kind of like the shock announcements, because it's nice to see some fresh new faces in leagues that now and again. It's nice to give it a nice little sprinkle of excitement and drama. If they're good enough to kind of give the top drivers a bit of a worry when it comes to the chasing down the championship relatively late on. But again, it's a little bit too far ahead of myself to be talking about the championship right now, since it's only in the preseason. So,
hello to Poctavian in the live chat, and hello to the other viewers that are there as well. Nice having you tuned in for this. I believe some of the other drivers will be watching as well, with looking to get a sneaky advantage over what's going on by us providing some information. And unfortunately, there's a little bit of lag that we've been experiencing today. The Gran Turismo World Tour event was also today, and we believe that's sort of harmed the servers a little bit for us common folk. So, little issue there, but we're going to soldier on, hopefully. No major technical issues. I think we're getting close to the time for Group 4 qualifying. So, I'm going to put the message forward.
if I'm correct, as it stands right now, there's only 2 cars for the GR4 qualifying, which would be Mr. Dan, himself, and Mr. Dominic. No, it's not Dominic. My apologies. And Joe, I meant to say. Yes, I am incorrect. Cool. I'm incorrect indeed.
I'll see if we get some response from the lobby chat there. With that, Taters is saying,
Oh.
hold on, he's not even in that category, I think.
That's a good start. That's a good start. Obviously, yeah, the good old Mr. Morrow out there driving his nice NSX, TSR NSX, I should say as well. Going through the Senna S's right now. Well, just left actually, and going down the nice long straight into the next cheeky two left-handers, and then into the very nice right-hander eventually. It's honestly to see really nice liveries out there as well, to be fair. Especially when I got a slight shout to the TSR liveries being once again really nice to look at. Very nice eye pleaser. And yeah, I believe. How long left do we have into? Oh, from being prepared.
Okay.
See.
Joe is restarting that.
Let's say.
We're going to have 2 minutes for them to apply their setups, and then we're going to get going again.
Sounds like a good plan. And of course, just let's see, is there anyone else? I doubt it. Anyone's doing a cheeky lap right now, but we're gonna check out anyways. So I guess at the moment we're just gonna be watching the good old interior view of some of these cars.
Yep. As I think you mentioned, only 2 Group 4 cars here today. That'll be Dan and Joe of the Fire. Going to be an interesting comparison, seeing how the rookie stacks up to our multi-time champion. Bit of a tall order, but we'll see how that goes.
I was gonna say, Joe of Fire being a very good driver in the SRF group, I would say. He's in GR. He's in GR4. It seems a bit like it seems like it's like giving Michael Schumacher a drive in F2. I guess we'll just wait and see, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to see if I am true or indeed horrifically wrong and it backfires massively in the future. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in that regard.
Yep. I also believe it's Dan's first actual league race today, so congratulations on joining the masses of people that choose this as their hobby.
I was going to say, I don't believe it's his first official league race. I think it's more in a case of it's his first PlayStation 5. First place. Actually, the first console league he's done, because he's done iRacing and Assetto Corsa Competizione on PC. So I would assume he knows his bits and bobs when it comes to racing and all that. So in that regard, he shouldn't be a worry.
Of course, I'm just remembering wrong now. I think what he said was it's his first league race on Gran Turismo. So
yeah,
that would make more sense, I think, in that regard.
Yes.
Unfortunately, using the default livery today, that is allowed for the preview, but hopefully we'll see that Renault in proper livery come round 1 in a week's time.
And hopefully in a better livery as well, since of course the Renault Megane default livery is a bit boring.
It is kind of plain, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they ran out of budget with that one, but it's a nice yellow. I'll say that much. Seems they're waiting up for Joe to go past in the number 27 TSR Audi Cup. The TT.
Speaking of which, that's probably a good example of a decent livery for the league as well, when compared to the Renault Megane, which, if I'm correct, he's driving the Audi TT in this case. Yes, he is. Me trying to find out what cars are in GR4 since I haven't done GR4 in ages.
No worries about it. You can find it on the car availability chart on Discord. Links to the Discord are actually in the description. If any of you viewers may want to participate in the series, there are still a couple slots left. We're going to go on board with Joe of the Fire for a lap here of the Interlagos circuit. Deadline, could you take us through it?
Oh, take us through it. Yes, well, I mean, we'd see Mr. Joe Fire, who's a far better driver than me, just went through the good old San S's as we are now going down the straight away into the two left-handers as you break it around the escape road into the curve, nice and tightly, unlike Max Verstappen did around last time in 2021. And then we take the curves once more. And then you might want to stay on the left side, probably brake around the 50-meter board, but don't want to shift down too much because it's to a very nice long corner. You shouldn't have any issues with it. Brakes down full wear on the right side of the curb, appears into the corner. Same thing again here, not too much braking, stays into the corner, and then you want to spread yourself out onto the left side, back to the left side again, into the right curves around here. You want to be careful on this curve because this curve is quite infamous for ruining your day if you're in a rear-wheel drive. Thankfully, these cars aren't rear-wheel drive; they're all front-wheel, so they shouldn't have two issues. And the corner I hate the most, we'll just pass now, and then it should be a nice, easy little straight with a couple kinks of left-hander there, just to spice it up a bit. For those who are a bit bored of doing straight lines, they could do a bit of curvy lines. Ooh, that's a bit of an innuendo there somewhere. And then, of course, once you see Joe Fire's going to set the lap time at the moment for 1:57.631, and we see right now with Dan being a generous 2 seconds slower for 1:39.564, if I'm correct.
Yep,
yes.
That sounds right to me. We've still got a minute and 20 seconds left in the session. We're thinking it's going to be around 2 flying laps, possibly 3, depending on where they cross the line.
Yeah, possibly. It could be a I think they're both relatively the same. Maybe a cheeky 3 lap, you would say?
Yeah, GT3 should probably do 3-ish laps. We'll see when we get to that part of the session. At the moment, though, it is indeed Joe of the Fire on provisional pole position by 1.9 seconds. Joe doing what Joe does best.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's only 2 cars out on track for GR4, so it's going to look quite horrific with the time gaps at the moment, as it stands at the moment. A generous 2 seconds difference. So again, it's probably going to be like the best driver with the complete newbie in this case. So it might look bad now, but again, hopefully in the actual official racing, when we get more cars out on track, it probably look a little bit less disgusting as it looks right now. As I believe Dan should go a little bit quicker when compared to Joe, who doesn't improve his time at all. As we see Dan now crossing the line, and hopefully he should do a little bit of a quicker lap time, which he doesn't actually. He lost time in the last sector. He was up for like 3/100ths, but actually went down to losing 3/10ths on the finish line there. So it was a bit of an interesting one there. Probably the last corner kind of ruined their day, which I wouldn't disagree if that was the case, since nobody liked the last corner of Interlagos.
So it is Joe of the Fire that takes pole position in the Group 4 category this time around by 1.9 seconds. We'll see how that translates to race pace. You also saw the tyre wear was extremely severe throughout that session. That's going to be something to look out for in these Group 4 cars. We're going to get the lobby reset again shortly for the Group 3 cars, I believe.
He believes.
Oh no, I'm still trying to work stuff out with the bringing back multi-class thing.
There you go.
Yeah, we're gonna reset it again.
I actually got the track map up as well for once, since I actually don't know, besides the center curves, I actually don't know a lot of the corner names around here. Excuse me.
I know a couple corner names, but not too many.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go then.
I mean, to be fair, they're all in a in a different language, and I personally do not want to butcher them.
So they're all applying their setups once again. 2 minutes away from the start of the Group 3 qualifying session. We've currently got 4 cars in the pits. And I believe Dominic Kubinski is the only one that isn't on circuit at the moment of the Group 3 cars.
Maybe he's gonna do a 1 lap special, do the last lap on at the end, and then get pole position by like 2 seconds.
Well, he's going to have to hurry along if he's going to apply his setup. We're already about a minute into that. Hello to both Myth and Mauro in the chat. Mauro saying that Octavian should race, even though his wheel is dead.
True. Try it on controller, that'll be interesting. As we see Mr. Houdini out on track.
He's leaving the pits a bit early there.
Still showing off the Bartini livery. What he can. Oh, there you go, he's back in the pits.
There we go. He thought he could sneak away.
Just
not quite.
Accidentally gets a free lap. Whoopsie daisy. I'd never seen the interior of a Genesis. This is quite a nice interior. I won't lie. And of course, who would expect me to commentate on an interior of a car? Groundbreaking. There you go. As we see, Mr. Tatis, if I'm correct, is the first one to leave the pits.
Indeed, is the first one making their way down the pit lane version of the Senna S and towards the back straight.
Sing then. Making my way down to. Okay. Anyways.
Careful, got to avoid copyright with these kinds of things. Oh,
True, I forgot.
Myth seems to have cut the pit exit line. So he's reset to the pits. That's unfortunate. Taters has ran a bit wide as well, so that could be a penalty for him.
I think he did actually.
You got to be careful with these things because they are really short sessions. It used to be 10 minutes when it was a single class, but shortened to 5 minutes per category for this. It's a real challenge for these guys.
Oh yeah. So, but thankfully, actually no, I can't even say thankfully because even then, it's the penalty line's on a quite a nasty bit of the track, more or less the beginning of the straight line. So he's not gonna get a very good start to his qualifying session, to say the least. But thankfully, it's only a 0.5-second penalty. It could be worse. You could have been like Myth, who got himself a 3-second penalty for cutting the line of the pit exit, which I think we've all done in the past by now. Isn't particularly a good idea, nor a good thing to do. But again, we just have to move on from that fact. As we see, Mr. Tate is going out on his first lap, as we see Houdini as well, following him as well. Let's see it. And how far behind are we? Let's see, Dominic is also going out to his first lap. Mauro not too far behind, and Myth also not relatively all far behind. They're all about to start their first laps now. As you see, Myth is already more or less generously halfway down his lap. Oh, nice little kick there from the Genesis there, out of the two left-handers of the Interlagos. And we're going to see him watching.
Just snaking his way around the middle sector of the circuit, extremely technical. That Genesis can be a bit of a handful at times. Seemingly doing a good job to keep it together at this stage. I think his second lap's going to be the one to go for, given he had that penalty on the start-finish run on this one, but we'll see how it develops. Taters is one of the strong drivers in this particular category. We'll see how he
I
does
mean,
coming up to the line.
he's yeah, I was gonna say he's not completely useless because Houdini hasn't actually really caught up to him in a significant amount of time. Sorry, that was a bit harsh, but I just realised
No, I'm
that.
here for it. Here it is then, a
But yeah.
131.706 for Taters is the opening benchmark. What does Houdini do? That lap time seems to have been red for whatever reason. That might just be a glitch. Dominic Kubinski goes top of the timing sheets. That's a 131.636.
Oh, that is a time. That is not a lot of time. Oh,
Mauro goes top.
That
131.5 dead.
Well, Myth as well. Does Myth showcase how good? No. He's a generous 2 seconds behind Houdini. So then it's... Wow, that is a very close top 3.
This should be an exciting preview in the Group 3 category. We've got about a minute left in the session.
Ooh.
Mauro has gone purple through Sector 1.
I'm
We're
going to see it soon.
now watching Taters, who is the first on the road at least. Who'll be the next one to set a lap time. They're coming up to the Sector 2 marker. Let's see where he is.
Let's go back down to Taters, we'll be in P3. As you see now, driving down the last important straight of this track. Are we going to find out if he does a better lap time than Dominic or Mauro to take away that pole position for this round? We need to wait and see. It looks like it might be a good lap.
Does.
It is indeed. Wow, that's a full 10 from full 10 purple. Beautiful lap time there. And as we see, Houdini actually gets a penalty. So he's not going to improve his lap time, but he's going to give Mauro a nice slipstream into the for the start finish line. And as Mauro crosses the line now, he gets a penalty. He gets a penalty, but it wouldn't matter anyways because he didn't improve his lap time enough to capture pole position.
And he missed the getting an extra lap there. He got the checkered flag that time around. There's only a couple cars that managed to get through, one being Taters. I think Dominic Kubinski might have just been able to get through as well.
Dominic Kubinski is on a purple as well. 100 quicker than Mr. Taters, who's currently on pole position. So we just need to wait and see if he keeps that purple going, or if he doesn't, or maybe even the Taters gets a fast lap time and currently set at the moment. We just have to wait and see.
Taters 3/10 down on his own overall best time through Sector 2. So I don't think he's going to improve this time around. It's going to come down to Dominic Kubinski, I think.
Dominic is currently 2/10 down as well, so he's not going to improve his lap time. And it's looking like Mr. Taters might keep his pole position intact for this round.
Here comes Kubinski to the line.
Here comes Dominic Kubinski, and he crosses the line, and he also gets a 0.5 second penalty. From what I've seen is both Mauro and Dominic probably touched the pit entrance line, like that little gap in the hard soldier, I guess I could say. Kind of gave that a little bit too much of a goodnight kiss, and the game didn't particularly like that and gave it a 0.5 second penalty for it. Not ideal, but it's quite ideal for Mr. Taters, who's currently the man of the hour in pole position by basically half a second.
Indeed, is a fantastic lap there by Taters in the Genesis X Group 3. Fantastic drive, and will be starting on pole position. Based on the timing screen, I believe it is going to be Mauro in second. Yep, he's rejoined and has reset the order. There we go. So it's going to be Taters from Mauro, from Dominic Kubinski, Houdini, and then Myth is going to be the grid.
And then we're just getting a very rare Tails ball. That is indeed. Uh, it's good. It's good to see Tails on pole position. That was a very good performance from him for around Interlagos. And now we're getting all of the the two GR4 drivers as well, and to hopefully start this, if I'm correct, a 28 was it a 28 lap race?
I think it's 26. Yes, 26 lap race for this
Okay.
one. Not too far off. It's going to be 40 minutes of running, approximately, is what we're aiming for
Yeah.
here. So, as
Yeah.
we enter the break period, as we get things set up, don't go anywhere. This is Nuke Shot Media and the Nuke Shot Endurance Series North America Tour here in South America at Interlagos.
The North American tour, but is that South America? Great.
I know, the irony. This is what happens when you have a democratic poll to decide what the preview's going to be.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you can't really say much because the British GT series drives at Spa, so.
Oh yeah, didn't they drive it
Okay.
like Zandvoort as well at one point? Or was
I
that
believe so at one point.
BTCC? One of
I
them.
think that's BT. It was a British series. That's all I know. I
I
know.
was
Shocking.
I was looking up ALMS, old ALMS American Le Mans Series races the other day, and they
Oh
had like 3
yes.
races in Europe in one season.
That is weird to see
I know.
ALMS at Donington. And out of all the tracks, Donington Park is a very interesting track to go to. But hey, I'm not complaining.
Absolutely, that is my local circuit.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
So the grid is about to be set. I'm gonna go to the Discord and check in on GTO, who I think said they should be on their way if we just delay the race a little bit. I'm gonna check in on them.
And as we see all the drivers slowly getting back up as well. Oh wait, no, they're all back up. I was waiting for you to come back in, and I realized, oh wait, no, you're the commentator. Oh, yeah. So in the meantime, just oh no, that's the wrong button. Oh, that's professional streaming at its best. There you go. It's going to be like one part of the stream where it's just me struggling to actually get to the spectator cam. But anyways, nice to see Gold Myth in his very nice Dodge Viper livery as well, actually. Nice pink and white, nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely, the colours of North Star Racing these days used to be purple and white, I seem to recall, and
And
now more
stars.
sort of brighter pink. Looks
Because they
good.
had stars and all that as well, didn't they? Well,
Oh yes, well they've had several designs, some of which I've helped with, some of which, like this one, Myth has originally come up with.
I was say that's a very nice livery.
We've
It was
currently
a
got
shame
7
that.
viewers in the YouTube chat at least. Hello to all of you. That's most likely just the drivers, but oh well,
And myself.
it's viewers. Oh nice, you're watching as well, boosting the numbers. That's always good.
Of course.
If you are enjoying the live stream, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing as we get the season underway. I've not had a response from GTO yet, but I'm still going to delay things a little bit, just so we have practice and such. Gap sorted.
I have noticed that Myth is lagging a bit on my screen, but I think that's just me.
No, he's lagging on my end as well. I think there's just generally a bit of lag going off with a lot of these drivers today. Servers are being a bit dodgy. Myth was also telling us on the Discord that the Dodge Viper in particular seems to be struggling a lot with keeping the tyres underneath him. That's why he's using the mediums. You can see there for the
mediums
start of the race, seeing if he can save having to make an extra pit stop.
Which is fair enough. I mean, that's pretty ideal. If you wanna stay on track longer, you generally do want to stay on the harder tires in that case. But jokes aside, it's interesting to see that it sounded like he's not very confident with the racing soft tires. As I see Maro. Okay, that's interesting. That's a cool. There you go.
Mara just parked up at the side of the road. Myth was also saying that the Viper isn't particularly well suited to this circuit and is looking forward to Daytona in particular, which is round one of the season on December 10th in a week's time. It should suit the car a lot better.
Do you know what? The Viper is just a weird character in itself. To be honest, it's one of those cars where it's either it's alright, you know, it's pretty good, or it's absolutely dog and you're crying about it every second you're driving it.
Well, it might be a bit of a suffering day to day for Myth, but it's all valuable data. Of course, it is an open setup league, so he can take some of his setup experiments he's trying out today and going forward. Still just checking Discord. No response from GTO still yet. That's concerning.
And about the cars as well, I'm assuming since it's only pre-season, they have a free choice to change their car if they desperately want to.
Yes, there is actually provision that you can change your car at any point of the season. No penalties, unlike the I suppose more traditional Nookshot Endurance Series season where you have to pay half of your championship points to swap car. But for this, you can change car at every race if you want to. It's not recommended, but you can do that, as it's sort of more of a semi-casual kind of a project, or these regional tours.
Which is honestly fair enough. That probably makes sense. As well, we do not want to be bullying drivers for picking a horrific car now, do we?
I'm going to monitor the live chat a bit there. Yeah, Myth saying more than one extra pit stop if he was having to use softs. So yeah, that's quite dire tyre wear. Poptavian in the chat there saying he's not racing front wheel front drive when he can't even drift front engine rear drive. So he's having a skill issue because he's not on a wheel because his wheel's broke or something.
Damn. That poor 0.5 second time lost because he's on wheel because he's on controller. Sad times.
And also we have had a response from GTO saying he is on his way. So I'm going to relay that to the host.
That is pretty good.
He'll be starting at the back of the Group 3 field, of course.
So yeah, we're getting 8 drivers on track as well, which is very nice to see.
Old. Taylor's insulting once again. But yeah, GTO, I don't know the specific league he was competing in, but he was racing in another league today. So he's joining us on having to miss qualifying, but should be here for the race. He's also down as a reserve entry for the whole season, pretty much because he's sort of going to potentially be a bit dodgy in terms of clashing with other league projects and stuff that he's doing. So, but it's good to see him when he is here, of course. First ever Nookshot Endurance Series LMP category Teams Champion is GTO. So he's definitely got pedigree in this series. He's been one of the OGs, as they say. Stop laughing at me.
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
No problem. Everyone laughs at me, it's fine.
Okay, now that's just sad. That is just incredibly sad. Oh dear.
What's happened?
You just said, "Don't worry, everyone laughs at me." I was like, "Oh damn,
Oh right, okay, that part.
that's that is
It's
just
fine.
damn." Okay.
GDO has joined the lobby. More messages here from TSR Octavian saying his wheels sent in and tyre wear is even more horrible than it already is when driving the RCZ. Still will
Oh,
be cool. I don't know if that's fully grammatically English correct, but that was a pain for my brain to read there, but still will be cooler the last 4 words. Let's go with that. He'll be driving a Peugeot RCZ in the main season, but not here today, unfortunately, Octavian, as he gets used to his new equipment. We're going to have a 2-minute warning, and then we'll get the race underway. Event sponsor today, Understeer Engineering. You'll find plenty of their work in the parts, tuning parts section of the world map in-game. Shout out Rupert, of course.
nice. Oh, actually, we haven't talked about GTO, have we?
No, he has
It
just
is.
got here.
I know. I was gonna say he's driving the RCF Lexus with the good old Nuke Shop Motorsport livery, and which is quite funny since the main commentator is the owner of Nuke Shop Motorsport, if I am correct.
The hint is in the YouTube channel named Nuke Shot Media. Slight hint there.
Wow.
Indeed, that is GTO
Who would have thought?
Nuke Shot regular in the series, with a special edition alternate colour scheme on that Nuke Shot livery. It's one of the newer ones, and he's managed to get himself a Lexus RCF. There's only 2 slots per car, and the Lexus RCF is one of those that has had both of its slots booked, so GTO was able to get one of those. Car 79. We'll see how he does here today, whether he can challenge for a podium, maybe further up than that.
Just I was watching GTO and I just saw Myth doing an absolute 180 on track.
There's a bit of side-by-side action there between 2 of the TSR cars. That's Group 3 and Group 4.
That's an interesting...
Houdini's having a bath break. What?
What?
Why is he pranking us here? That's what's going on.
Pranking us.
He's also asking in the YouTube live chat who the new partner is. That is Deadline, is the co-commentator here today, as the TSR cars are ramming each other off of the circuit.
I mean, I'm just a co-commentator, so I'm just here. I get my wages paid. I'm happy.
Oh, you might not be happy then at the end of this day.
Oh well, about that wage, that was a lie.
We never agreed to any payment.
No, we did. You just didn't. You just weren't awake. Don't worry about it.
Yes, you are pranking Houdini. I'm responding to him in the chat again. There's just constant peasantry going off. GTO is top of the timing sheets. That bodes well for the Nuke Shot driver. Even though it is practice. See, why is Houdini saying no? I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not. Houdini, if you are ready, then just say yes, please. It's already been a long evening. There's 8
Damn.
cars, and I'm having to put up with a co-commentator for the first time this year.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it's fine. I'm just pranking you myself. That's what's going on.
I see how it is. I'm just now gonna cry in a corner.
Oh, okay then. Solo stream back again. Welcome back to Nuke Shot Media.
Wow, okay, fair enough. I'll put my own comments here.
If
Anyways.
Houdini's driving around, then I know he is ready. Why is he in the pits?
In case you jinxed it, that's why. Oh, what is happening there? There's.
Just a
I feel like
moment.
you shouldn't.
I can't be dealing with this.
Oh, dear.
Someone send help, please. Adjusting what? I think everyone else has said they're ready. Just except for Houdini. Taylor's has said that he's not mentally ready.
True. I feel like when you're doing league racing, you're never mentally ready. So it makes sense on that regard.
Yeah, it's just constant internal screaming is what happens here. Yep, GTO has been put to the back of the Group 3 field. That makes sense, given he missed qualifying. Waiting for a response from Joe as confirmation. Okay then, here we go. Have a good race, everyone. 40 minutes of suffering here at the Autodromo de Interlagos in Brazil. Again, if you're enjoying the live stream so far, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. Deadline, I believe you're live streaming on Twitch as well. Any plugs you want to get in real quick?
Well, just besides my stream, it's also. Besides my stream, there's not much to plug at the moment because the race is about to begin.
Alright, you can talk us through the 5 red lights and the opening.
Oh, well, 2 lights are already out, 3, now 4, and now 5, and we wait to see Tejas go off the line with the rest of the gang out on track to see, and no, of course he doesn't, because Mr. Morrow said he's going to be taking the crew down into the center bit as he gets a real bump by Dominic as well. Taylor goes off, and we've just seen Myth having a bit of a mare, and he's having a fight with GTO actually, and because of that, he had a real massive mare at the start, and he's already about a second-ish down to the rest of the gang in the GR3. As we see who is out on front is Morrow. Morrow's doing a good job there to immediately take away that P1 away from Taters, who's currently in P4, being followed by Mr. Dominic Kubicki, being a half second. Actually, they're all relatively a half second difference, so they're all doing a relatively good job at the start of the race. No real massive gone off the track in a ball of fire at the moment, as we're going to need some quick love to the guys in the GR4. As we see Joe of Fire, he's already 2.5 seconds ahead of Mr. Dam, who's in P2 for the GR4 group at the moment. He's doing a good job. I have a feeling that we're not going to see a lot of position change in GR4, so I think at the moment it's looking like the battle is going to be really in the top overall positions at the moment. As we see, actually, Taylor might have a moment trying to go into overtaking down the Sennas, as he goes down the outside back into the inside, but Maro knows what he's doing and he covers that, so he doesn't get any positions gained from that, unfortunately. And actually, it's looking like he didn't lose too much actually, no, now it's changed, since Grand Channel has like the world's slowest time delta changes in the world. So yeah, but again, Tejas has not given up yet when it comes to trying to recapture his P1, as we've seen the very good qualifying he had for the last for the qualifying session. But Maro is making sure that he doesn't get any clues on trying to take back that P1. So he's actually I think that was a bit of a push.
That was a little bit of a nudge that we just saw there. We're gonna get a replay on that one shortly, as I think that was another Ford GT. I think that was Houdini going a little bit sideways out of that hairpin. We're gonna get a replay on that. I think the story at the start of that was Taylor's not really getting the best launch off the line and being swamped, but managed to gather it back up to P2. As there was a little bit of a nudge on Maro. That NSX is a little bit tail happy regardless, so it doesn't take much to unsettle it as they make their way down the start-finish straight once again.
And to see all the drivers out in there, they're all still relatively close together. Like for example, with Dominic, only 8 tenths behind the two drivers are out in front, which would be Tatis and Maro, both still trying to find some pace to have an idea on how to retake P1 or defend P1 in respect. And at the moment, it's actually looking like Dominic might actually be quick enough to take P2 away from Maro, as Maro is looking like he's kind of having some mares at the moment out on track. But
he's seems the top three are breaking away a little bit from Houdini in fourth. Dominic looked like they might have been able to make a move into turn 4, as there's a spin a bit further back. I just saw on the mini-map, I don't know who quite that is.
That looks like Miff. That's Miff who just gone off. I think he said sorry, so I'm not sure if he's gone to... Oh, wow, he had a... Oh, wow, okay, that's interesting, as I see him lagging on my screen. What has happened? It looked like he forgot to brake or whatever, because he just went slammed into the two left-handers and had a bit of an oops daisies, and then came back on track and actually managed to hit Joe. So, not particularly ideal, and I can definitely see why he's not enjoying that Viper at the moment. Really struggling out there in that car, especially
fourth. Almost close. Sorry to cut you off there. GTO has caught up to Houdini. These two have been rivals in the past. Second and third, respectively, in the Intercontinental Tour were these two. So relatively similar pace. And it seemed like GTO was closing in a little bit. Houdini gaining a bit of time on the straights, as there's a little bit of overtaking between the two TSR cars. Dominic Kubinski forcing Maro a little bit wide.
Let's see a quick replay on my screen, and I think that thing from Von Icing, that looked quite nice actually. Mind you, I only saw the side bit of it, so.
We've got a decent camera here. There's a little bit of contact. There was about 8 tenths of a car width there on the outside-ish, approximately.
Ish.
Battle for 4th and 5th continues as Houdini and that Ford GT, relatively old car, struggling a bit in the twistier sections, but able to pull away on the straights. Taylor's still our leader. Can't seem to get Dominic out of slipstream range, though, as the tyres are really starting to wear already. Could we see some pit stops in the not-too-distant future?
Possibly by the looks of it. I'm just casually trying to watch Miff, because he's in that kind of badlands at the moment, trying to catch up to the GR3 cars, whilst also trying to overtake, catch up to the GR4 cars out on track at the moment, and he's still really struggling with that Viper, because I can see him in most of the times kind of oversteering out of the corner, and and away from the track, I should say. And so he's not having a great day, as it appears, out on track, which is not particularly great, but it is what it is. But he is catching up to the leader of GR4. Not really surprised, because he's in a GR3, of course, but still, it's better to get to overtake all the lower class cars quickly, so that you have nice clean air to catch up to the rest of the gang in your class. But I will say as well, he's currently at the moment 32 seconds away from the first position out on track, and keep bearing in mind. Oh yes, he gets a 4.5 second penalty, but we need to move back up actually to see what's happening with the gang out on front. Looking like still a three-way battle for the P1 there, being about looking like let's see, yeah, sort of looking like about like basically a second between them all actually by the looks of it. And it's also looking like there's a bit of a gap between like 4 and 5 having their own battle, and then you have the top 3 also in a battle there. I see Maro trying to have a go at Dominic Kaminsky, his teammate, for second place. And they don't really want to have battle too much because they want to make sure that they have a nice clean overtake without losing too much time to Mr. Taters, who's actually
Mr. Potato Head.
I always read the names, but what I meant to say is Mr. Taters.
No, that's great banter. Dominic Kubinski
Very
under attack then, it seems, as Mauro does go down the inside. That
Beautiful
NSX seemingly
overtake.
better in the corners, as Dan is into the pits already. Those Group 4 front-wheel drive cars really struggling on tyres, so Dan into the pits already. We'll see where they come out. Maybe it will disrupt this battle as well.
It might. I don't believe it will, because
It's a little bit early for Lappery, isn't it? Yeah. But
Yeah.
Mauro all over the back of Taters, looking
Wow.
to do a bit of a switchback going into John Sale. Not quite close enough. But Taters has outbroke themselves a bit on the
Oh.
grass on exit. That's going to compromise their traction. And I think that is Mauro
Yes.
back up into the lead of the race. And look, the
And
TSR
actually-
teammates helping each other out a little bit. The slipstream being given to Dominic Kubinski side by side for second as they go across the line.
Across the line, and at the moment it's going to be a very interesting battle to see into the first corner, and looking like they have kind of all settled down for now. I see Mauro, Dominic, and Mr. Tejas out on track, or in still within less than a second of each other right now, and they are starting to lose a bit of time between the guys in P4, as we should see as well. Houdini has just gone to the pits as well, so
Yep.
they're also not having a good time.
He's pulled up to his pit stall. The Martini Racing Team mechanics, very quick tyre change, not taking any fuel, no need to at this point in the race. Going for mediums this time, it seems, for perhaps a more stable tyre grip. Where is he going to rejoin? It's going to be close with Myth, actually. Myth, not too far behind, but yet to stop. I think Houdini is going to come out just ahead, indeed does so. But he has a 3-second penalty for cutting the pit exit line. That is a massive mistake from Houdini.
As you see, actually we see now Myth about to catch up to him as well. That actually, no, you should be able to overtake him, since obviously that 3-second penalty is going to be very disgusting towards him.
Bit of a battle for second as well, as Taters goes back past Dominic Kubinski. The front right tyre on Dominic's car completely shot. I'm surprised that hasn't exploded.
Actually, what is happening is Mara has just gained an incredible amount of time. Now I look at it, 3.3 seconds ahead, as we see Mr. Dominic Kubinski coming into the pits now.
As is GTO following him in.
GTO as well, so that means looks like Taters, but I would assume probably is going to be pitting this lap. Hopefully, probably going to keep it on the same lap as Maro at the same time. But keeping in mind, Maro's time is actually looking quite good, and he's doing a purple as well on those tyres. So he's still got some pace in those tyres somewhere, or somewhere and somehow. Mind you, it could also be because he's currently in clean air, rather than trying to fight it out with the top 3 of the drivers. But we move on, as you see, a bit of kickback there from the Honda NSX coming out of the nice long right-hander.
Coming up for a bit of lap traffic here, I think that is Dan. Just of note, it seemed that Dominic Kubinski and GTO have both switched to medium tyres, so they're both trying to go for longer stints this time around, realising the softs really weren't staying underneath the car for that long, hoping to save a pit stop. There goes Mauro, overtaking the Renault again of Dan. Oh, massive sideways moment. He's on the grass, manages to just about gather that one up.
I genuinely thought he was about to ascend into the stratosphere and then because he was properly sideways. But I think that was just my game lagging a bit to make it look like he was.
Into
In
the
reality.
pits goes Mauro, our race leader. Does
Oh,
Taters follow him in? Yep.
Taters does.
Now, do both of these also go for mediums, or do they stick with running soft compound tyres? A strategy expert, Joe of the Fire, was saying that pretty much no matter what happens, you're probably best off taking the pit stops and just running softs all the time. But we're going to see how this works out then. If there is a potential split strategy, we'll maybe think that the TSR car will go for softs again, because of course Joe being on Team TSR would have helped them out a bit with that. Or no, he has gone for mediums, so completely wrong there. Curse of the commentator, as they say. And it seems that Taters has gone for softs.
Yeah, they both on completely different tire strategies. As we see Dominic overtaking Taters coming driving past the pits. As we see, he didn't get enough speed to overtake Mauro, so he's now only a second behind him. But again, he's on the nicer, cleaner tires compared to Mauro and Taters, who are on chilly tires and are also on the mediums and the softs respectively. So at the moment, give it about half a lap, he should be quicker, but maybe Tage might come back in a moment to have a chance of overtaking him, which might actually happen.
Very scary stuff there from Taters running on the grass. The top two are on medium tyres. Taters on the softer compound, so should have a bit of a pace advantage here and wants to get past both of these cars as fast as he can. Going to have a decent opportunity in slipstream here as they make their way down the start-finish run. In the slipstream. Carry on, sorry.
Yeah, no, nothing much. I was just saying. He's also in theory going to be a couple of laps down when it comes to the pit stops next time. Ooh.
Down the inside goes Taters at the turn 1 part of the Senna S complex. Does Kubinski get him back? It looks like he's trying to sweep back under through turn 3. The Ford GT should have decent straight line speed. Taters forces him to go the long way around towards turn 4. Going to be tricky for the Ford to hold on through there. Oh, bit of a cutback perhaps though from Dominic. Oof. Not quite.
They're all getting a bit skittish around here tonight. Getting a bit slippery around those corners because I keep seeing all of them having some scary mares exiting corners looking like they're about to spin. But frankly, these drivers are not like me, where I cannot save a car to save my own life, and these drivers know are far better. These drivers have far better talent than me, so I should be probably a little bit less worried about them spinning the car out. But again, I will say, even though some of those skittish moments are looking quite scary to see as they go on the lesser grip tire compounds, such as the mediums and possibly the hards, if someone wants to risk it. But I highly doubt that's going to happen this race.
Well, we're not too far away from the halfway point in this one. We're 15 minutes out of 40 gone. Side by side for the lead once again, as Taters does make the move for the lead. Sets the fastest lap of the race in the process. Will it be round the outside for the Genesis? Not quite. Having to slot back in for the Senna S, maybe get a run down towards turn 4 in the slipstream. He's definitely broken away from Dominic though, and that means he can put all of his focus into attacking Mauro.
And it's looking like they're both the top 3 are both just trading places. Maybe not now, since Dominic is kind of Dominic has a bit of a skinch moment. I was just talking about him, but it's looking like the top 3 are having a bit of a just constantly fighting each other for the first place. This is looking like a very good race to watch.
Slight nudge. Slight nudge there again from the Genesis. I think he's let him back past though. Yep. I think Taters realised that and righted the wrong. Fair play to him. Looking to go to the inside again. Tricky stuff.
As we also see the Dan...
0.5 penalty.
0.5 penalty for Tejas, and we also see Mr. Dan out ahead of them.
To the
Obviously,
inside!
in the inside, beautiful. But he's also going to get a penalty, and it says, oh, there's going to be a next lap penalty. I see, okay, so it's not going to be a massive worry for now. And thankfully, he's also got the slipstream as well of the car ahead. He shouldn't. This might be a very interesting issue.
Catching the Renault at an awkward spot. It seems like the Renault is staying out the way, though.
Fair play to him. As I said, he definitely knows what he's doing, moving out of the way, especially around that corner. Because I know if you're not very ideal when it comes to blue flags, you might have a bit of a brown pants moment. But we just saw Dan doing a fantastic job with the blue flag there. So good job to him.
Interesting as well, I've just noticed, is that on that previous start-finish straight, it seems like the two TSR cars tactically swap positions, so it is the Ford GT of Dominic Kubinski now ahead of Mauro. Another thing that I noted that we may have missed earlier was GTO managed to get ahead of Houdini, as we see second and third trade places once again. I'm not sure if Houdini may have made a mistake, because the gap between fourth and fifth, 12.8 seconds, that is quite significant. So I'm only going to assume that Houdini may have made a mistake in that tricky-to-drive Ford GT. But we continue with the battle at the front of the field, and it seems Mauro is getting a little bit of a gap again, as Taters is about to serve a 1 second penalty. So he's increased it a bit. That's potentially going to drop him out of slipstream range of both of these guys.
Maybe, but I think he'd be fine. He's gonna struggle. He will definitely struggle down the straights now, but I think he'll still be in the main race for now. It's not like that penalty has ruined his chances of winning. So I think for now he'll be all right. He just obviously might struggle in the first kind of corners, thanks to the good old friend of dirty air, especially him being quite far back, but. I think he should catch up by now, because looking at that Genesis, he's looking quite a quick car down the straights as well. But now we're going to see the Dominic and Mauro both second, with Tejas in third place. Still all of them fighting each other, as we see they're all now being relatively, still, I'm going to say generously, 1 second apart. So again, they're all doing a very good job out on track, as we see no complaints so far.
Yeah, the top three seems to be the closest, if not the only battle on circuit at the moment. But just going through some of the other order for now, we've got GTO in fourth place, as I mentioned earlier, with a bit of a gap over Houdini in fifth for the Martini Racing team. Myth is currently in sixth, a little bit further back. Joe is going into the pits in his TSR Audi TT, so we're going to see where he rejoins in relation to the traffic. And Dan is currently second in the Group 4 category, as we go back to the battle for second and third. The two cars slipstreaming each other.
Third. It's looking like Dominic is trying to hold back Tasers, actually. But it could be just because that, like I said, that Genesis is really rapid down the straight, so it could have just been that. But yeah, it's looking to be very, very interesting to watch. The top three to battle it out is incredible to watch at the moment.
Those soft tyres on the Genesis are starting to get a bit past their best now, it would seem.
Yeah, definitely looking that way. And that's another song lyric that I just got stuck in my head. Beautiful. But yeah, to see the medium guys out on track, they're doing a very they're doing a good job making sure their tires are still intact. As we see, Mr. As you said, Taters with struggling when it comes to tire wear a bit, but not struggling enough where he's looking like to be going far away from the top two drivers. As he actually tried to make the overtake, and maybe a bit of a tap there, but he takes away P2 away from Dominic at the moment. So doing it not too bad of a job so far.
making
as
their
he's
way down the
currently.
start-finish straight once again. It seems that the Genesis has managed to gap the Ford a bit, even with the Ford getting slipstream, so perhaps the Genesis stronger than I originally thought on the straights. That's interesting. Will they be able to catch up to Mauro on the mediums? Those mediums are actually doing quite well in terms of
I was
lasting
gonna
quite
say,
well.
I mean, it might be a bit of a driver saving the tires a bit as well. But yeah, those tires are still looking basically brand new. In the racing context compared to the sauce, which looked like they're about to drop dead. And actually, I just saw Dominic has a 1 second penalty, so he's going to be probably not having a good time once he crosses the line. He's probably going to be about 4 to 3 seconds behind Taters once that penalty disappears.
Yep, a bit further back, GTO still maintaining fourth place, the gap continuing to increase to Houdini, who is in fifth. Both of those are on mediums. Same with Myth, sticking with their medium strategy, which seems to have been the wise thing to do for a lot of these guys in the Group 3 category. Joe is on softs. A bit of a risky move there, I suppose, with the front-wheel drive Group 4 category. I think I saw that Dan is on hards and has currently 1.5 seconds of penalty, and a car coming up behind him at the moment. But
That would be Houdini.
yep, and yeah, those hards have actually been taking quite a bit of a beating, so he's been out there for a while. When would he have pitted? Lap 5, so he's nearly done 10 laps on these tyres.
Yeah, so he's doing a good job with those tires. I think it's just more of a case of it wasn't likely for him to be racing against Joe tonight, but I think he's just trying kind of see how the tires can basically handle because again Joe Fire did pit lap 15 if I'm correct.
Right.
So he
Looks like lap 12 to me was his last pit stop because that was a 2-minute
lap
one
12.
lap. So
I just
there's only a
noticed.
couple laps ago, I think.
I just noticed my lap counter says lap 11, 12, 15, 14, 15. That's really interesting.
Yeah, there's some weird glitching going on there, unfortunately.
There you go.
The sun is going down here, though, at Autodromo de Interlagos in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The track temperature will be coming down a bit. That should help the tyres a little, as will the fuel loads coming down in these cars, so it's less weight in the cars.
Less weight, cooler tires. What else do you want as a racing car driver? A better car besides that?
Looking at the gap at the lead of the field again, 5.3 seconds and seemingly extending. Mauro currently has the fastest lap of the race, a 1:31.342. It was a 1:31.446 last time around for him. As Taters goes into the pits. Okay, this could be their last stop if they go for mediums. If they go for softs again, they might need one more. It's going to be close.
It's gonna be interesting to see as we see GTO actually taking P3 now.
Yes, on strategy. So that seems to be working out for GTO at the moment. If they need one more stop, and Taylor's does as well. We'll see how that develops. Taylor's now exiting the pits. He is on softs once again. That strategy seemingly set in concrete for him.
See, I think I would have gone on the mediums personally, since by looking at lap counts, you got about 10 laps to, well, 9 laps to do. So I'd say pretty coasted with the mediums, but again, I'm not driving, so why would I care?
Another factor as well seems to be that we see is because the softer tyres, you're not sliding around as much. You're not necessarily wearing them as much as you might expect. Compared to if you're on a harder compound and sliding a lot. So there's definitely that factor to take into account. As you see the flames from the side exhaust of that Genesis as well, as we are going into the dusk stage of the race here.
All the photo guys out there who's gonna be taking photos are definitely gonna be taking some photos of that Genesis as night comes to a crawl a bit, comes crawling in even.
GTO continues to stay out on those mediums. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in at the end of this lap for maybe another set of mediums, but at the moment he's got a 17-second advantage over Taters, and if he can pull this strategy off, that would be a fantastic podium result for the home team here at the Neutral Endurance Series.
As you're the Duke Shot team.
The green
owner,
guy,
so
the green goblin, as some call me. No one calls me that.
Giant. No,
They call me
Green
obtuse
Giant.
peasant and other insults like that.
Of course.
Brake disc glowing as well, as things have really gotten a lot darker here at Interlagos. Headlights fully ablaze. Maro with an 11-second gap, nearly 12 seconds, over teammate Dominic Kubinski in second. Myth goes into the pits meanwhile from 6th place, has a 0.5-second penalty. It would be cool if you could serve time penalties in the pits, like as a stop-and-go kind of thing. But
see, I always thought you could, but then that was an absolute lie. Because I remember having a penalty entering the pits, and my penalty disappeared afterwards. So I always thought that was the case, but I guess not.
This should be Myth's last pit stop then. He is on another set of mediums. We'll see where he comes out. Should be in relatively clear air. There is someone going through the center S at the moment. I'm not sure who that is. It's another Group 3 car.
That's Dominic coming around the pit sector now. Looking like to might blue flag Myth.
Yeah.
As the game tells me, my controller's on low battery. Thank you very much.
Should also know as well, and they see Myth letting him past. Blue flags, if it's a Group 4 car being lapped by a Group 3, the protocol there is it's the Group 3's car's prerogative to pass in a safe manner, and the Group 4 car doesn't have to move off of the racing line necessarily. But given that this is two Group 3 cars, normal blue flag rules do apply for this, and Myth evidently has read the rule book and has got out of the way, so fair play to him, as both Houdini and Dan have entered the pits. Houdini going for softs for his final stint, now going through the pit exit, and Dan still yet to make it to their pit box. We're going to see what they do. They're really contrasting strategies in Group 4, because Dan's been going for the hard tires, really long stints, while Joe pretty much has been going softs all the way and many stops. Dominic also into the pits, as Dan does go for hards, and we're about to see what Dominic chooses to do. GTO also follows him into the pits. Definitely into the range of the last stops then, here at Interlagos. Look at the way the pit lane's illuminated as well. That's fantastic stuff. There you see the Ford GT of Dominic Kubinski.
You see of him leaving the pits now should be ahead of all the other guys who are currently in the pits. Yeah, we just saw GTO leaving the pits as well.
He's gone for softs. Interesting stuff. He's changed from the mediums to the softs for this final stint.
Oh, let's go for him. I know, I think he had a slightly better fuel as well, if I'm correct. Unless I read that horrifically wrong. No, I read that completely right. He has a tad more fuel than Mr. Dominic, who is currently in P3, respectively.
Joe with the Fire making a pit stop again for another set of softs. He's probably going to take these ones to the end, although again it's going to be pretty much running on flat tyres on the front by the end of it. Maro, our race leader, goes into the pits as well. Perhaps a bit of a reactionary measure, seeing the other cars pitting around this time. He has 33 seconds in hand over second place Taters, who has been on his medium tyres for quite a while and has actually retaken the fastest lap of the race, the first 1 minute 30. It's a 0.952 for Taters, as we watch Maro stop in the pit box.
As you see, yes, and he leaves the pits are actually really quick as well. I actually got shocked about that.
No fuel.
Really quick.
No fuel for the NSX, as Taters is only just
laps.
at the top of the center S, as Maro is towards the end of the pit lane now.
am I right to be a little bit worried about that 26 laps? I mean, I'm all used to the timer counter, so of course with the timer counter you don't get an accurate fuel a fuel little icon to showcase how much fuel you need. But I don't know why that 26% of fuel had me a little bit worried. But I'm assuming it's all right since, of course, it's lap based, so he should know how many laps he has left.
Yes, of
For
course.
lead.
And another reason we have a lap count instead of the timer clock is because, of course, once the time has elapsed, no matter where you are on the circuit, it's the checkered flag. It's sort of like the Nürburgring 24 hours system, as opposed to everywhere else where everyone waits until the leader takes the checkered flag first and then the race is over. So that's
Yeah.
the sort of weird quirk of the system here at the moment. Tater's seemingly closing in a bit on Mauro, as Mauro's feeling out the tyres once again, getting them up to temperature in these colder conditions. Wind speed is a little bit of a crosswind going into turn 1, headwind for the Senna S itself, so a little bit extra downforce for these guys.
I'd say perhaps as well with this Taylor's looks like he might struggle at the end of the race with those tires. If not, probably need to pit probably the last couple of laps just to change the tires. But again, that could be a bit too of a risk there. So he needs to gain some pace right now to catch up to the good old Mr. Mauro, who's currently in P1, in order to make sure that he has a chance of winning this race, because I would highly doubt anyone would be pitting now in the top 6 rather.
Yeah, it was a bit early on the pit stops for Taters, but the thing is, he's in second now. If he pits, we saw that he'd be behind GTO, so that's 4th. So at this point, you're probably best just staying out and hoping you survive, as opposed to sort of throwing it away, because you're not going to regain positions if you pit. So he's sort of locked himself into a little bit of an awkward situation. We're going to see if Dominic can catch up. 10 seconds is the gap between those two, but Dominic is on much fresher tyres.
And you can see the timer is actually no, never mind. I was going to say it's slowly ticking down, but it's actually, oh no, it is now. Oh no, it's not. It's trying to make its mind actually when it goes down or go up. So,
seems about even for pace between these two at the moment. So Taylor's keeping the tyres in good working condition at this stage. I think that's the Viper of Myth that's up ahead of him.
yeah, it should be, if I'm correct. Let's double check that real quick. For number 6, oh, it's not, but I think it's
Yeah, blue flags for Myth going down the back straight. He's pulled to one side. Those mediums are definitely going to get him to the end of this.
Yeah, she should have no problems there.
Should we check in on Group 4 while we're at it? Joe the Flyer currently first in that category, a minute ahead of Dan, and about to be lapped by Houdini, I believe that is, in one of the other 4 GTs.
Yes, that is good old Mr. Houdini from Portugal, about to overtake Joe of Fire. As you see him overtaking now, as he does a good job of it.
These two legends of the series, of course, been on the channel for many a year by this point. In contrast, here is Dan once again on their Gran Turismo League Racing debut. Second place, though out of 2 cars, he's getting the car to the end, and all that good experience for future events, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And although he's currently a minute and 2 seconds down on the leader of GR4, he's still doing a good job. I mean, he's still in the race. So as it stands, he's gaining all the experience he needs for the next couple of rounds in this series, and we hope for him to showcase his real talent in the official rounds of the tour around North America, at least. Absolutely.
And just noticed as well, a new fastest lap for our race leader this time around, 1:30.490 for Mauro. That NSX, you know what? It did really well yesterday in the World Tour event, surprisingly so. And Mauro, in his very capable hands, it seems, also seems to be extremely competitive. I always thought it was a bit of a death trap on wheels, this car. But he's certainly managing to get the most out of it.
Yeah, I always saw the NSX as just like a Japanese version of the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 car. So I've never really like went towards it as like a good choice of car. I always thought of it as you said, as a bit of a death trap. But I, it appears that we're both horrifically wrong in that regard. Oh, as he gets a 0.5 second penalty there for cutting the entry pit lane.
Yeah, and that was another purple lap, but given he did get a time penalty for that, I don't think that one would count. Not that any points are up for offer anyway, of course. I just remembered that point. But if there were, then that particular lap wouldn't count towards the extra point for fastest lap. But he had the one before anyway, which was fine, so null and void. All these technicalities and stuff. The gap is 8.9 seconds as it stands. We're on the second to last lap here at Interlagos. If you've enjoyed what I think has been a rather entertaining race given the relatively low turnout of cars here, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. Next week, we of course head to the Daytona International Speedway and its road course.
Which will be very interesting to watch, as we all love a bit of cheeky Daytona roval. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to watch that in the next week.
We've just gone to second place now. Taters, the front right tyre again. That is pretty much on the rim at this point. Relatively low profile tyres on the Genesis. Not that that really contributes to anything in terms of physics in game, but that is quite concerning. He's going to have to really be careful on this final lap here.
Yeah, but I think thankfully, even if he has like really bad tyre wear, he is also like 7 seconds ahead of Dominic. So unless he has an absolute incredible snap of oversteer and hits it into a wall, he should be fine. He should be perfectly fine to take at least a nice second place in the expedition race for tonight.
Yeah, it seems that way. The gap has come down to 6.5, but I don't think it's going to quite close enough, and Dominic's tyres aren't in the best of conditions either. The alternate strategy from GTO didn't quite work out in the end. He was sort of relying on Taylor's having to pit again. But fourth place, nevertheless, ahead of his one of his rivals, of course, from last season, Houdini. So getting a one-up on him. You like to see it, of course, as the Nuke Shot owner here in the studio. And Myth, of course, sixth place as it stands today, it would seem. But nevertheless, he's going to the end, and that's what we like to see. The spirit of endurance, as they say, with these kinds of things. Mauro, it has been a fantastic race here today. They're down the start-finish straight, and it seems that in formation with Joe of the Fire, they take the win here at the preview event for the North America Tour of the Nuke Shot Endurance Series. Joe of the Fire, of course, taking the win in the Group 4 category. Taters crosses the line second in Group 3, and Dominic Kubinski not quite close enough to take second in the end. We'll have to settle for third. Here comes GTO. It'll be fourth place for car number 79 today. As Myth crosses the line, confirmed in sixth place. Well done to Myth for getting to the end of that one in the suffering that was the Dodge Viper today. Hopefully a bit better result at Daytona. Houdini's still going around the circuit, as is Dan.
Yeah, and then to see him having a bit of a nice drive, not having to worry about any other driver out on track. Besides, as you said, Dan, who's currently in P8, did a fantastic job as well out on track again. we're taking the unofficial second place of the GR4 Cup. So he did a fantastic job, and then we see Mr. Houdini himself driving around onto the straight line into the start-finish line, and he takes away P5, spinning away, and that is it. That is
And
every.
we're going to have to disqualify Houdini for that across the line. No, I'm joking. That would be too cruel. But well done to TSR Mauro and Joe of the Fire. TSR taking the win in both categories today in fine style. Here are your results then as we go to the results screen. Mauro first placed. It was Taylor's in second in the end, splitting the two TSR cars. Dominic Kubinski on short notice, mind you, managing to take P3, so well done to him. GTO managing to also get here on relatively short notice after completing another league race. They take P4. Houdini in P5 will be hoping for a bit of a better Daytona, as will Myth in P6. And of course, Joe of the Fire taking the win in the Group 4 category, and Dan in second. Fastest lap did go to Mauro in the end. So, deadline. What a race that was. I hope you've enjoyed it. What were your thoughts on what was a relatively solid, I'd say, preview event, and your thoughts on looking forward to the season ahead?
I mean, for the preview event, that was a pretty good show between the top three, and for the for between GTO and Houdini in the GT3 class. And I'm really looking forward to see how the other guys who unfortunately won here tonight, to see how they fare against the rest of the gang out on track tonight. It's going to be very exciting to watch the first round of the NES of North American Tour as well. And to be fair to the GR4, even though there's only two drivers out on track, they also did a very good show tonight, even if they weren't anywhere near each other. So honestly, I think I'm looking very excited to see what happens out on track in the official rounds as well. So yeah, I'm quite excited.
Oh, fantastic stuff. And you can join us here next week, actually, for round one of the series on the channel, Nukeshot Media, of course. Same time, same place. We're going to the Daytona International Speedway. Unofficial sponsor from Ryanair Overseas. That was Lynx that set up that one. So credit to Lynx for that. It's going to be a very different challenge here. A lot more high speed, I'd say. Some should favour some different cars. We're going to hopefully see some more entries as well. But from all of us here at Nukeshot Media, we hope you've enjoyed the race today. And again, be sure to leave a like, consider subscribing for the rest of the season. And from all of us here, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.